Hello everyone. So this video is in regards to the super full moon in Taurus and what that means for all signs. One of the reasons I'm doing this video is because unpredictable Uranus is tightly conjunct this full moon, and the Scorpio sun is opposing them both. So there are also equally important aspects happening at the same time. We have powerful oppositions, sometimes squares, and we do have trines and sextiles going on as well. Um, we have stationing planets to go direct. Some will be going retrograde. So there is a lot going on. And you may have already been feeling some of this energy, and especially this super full moon. But this energy will last a few days, if not weeks more. Sorry. So in this video, I will first briefly explain the sign of Taurus and Scorpio, a little on the moon, and Uranus, and breakdown of the other dynamics, and finally what that means for each sign. So just to note here is that this is not going to be there is a change coming, because we are already in the midst of change. We have moved from water signs and we're going into fire signs for the most part. So the internal work, our feelings, emotions, conversations have been had, and we will now externalize these changes, some of which have already been externalized. So, in other words, these actions and conversations will mark a before and after in our lives. So, sometime in the future, you will harken back to this day or this month or this week and say, "Ah, yeah, that's when it all began. That's when it all ended," and so forth. Okay. Now, this Taurus super full moon is at 24 degrees, and it is one of the last, the last, one of the last four consecutive supermoons of this year. This Taurus full moon is the ending or a culmination of the new moon in Taurus earlier this year on May 8th that we started on the journey on. At that time, we either began a new opportunity in our Taurus related houses or planted the seeds of what we wished for and started working at it on it. And now it is wrap up time. Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about Uranus, because Uranus is the wild card here. Uranus is tightly conjunct the full moon. It is at 25 degrees. Uranus is the planet of electricity, magnetism, lightning, storms. It rules innovation. It is quite unpredictable. It is very imaginative. It has idiosyncratic or quirky energies, as in the mad scientist, or, excuse me, the unorganized genius. Uranus rules the emotionally unattached genius of the zodiac, Aquarius. And I'm not saying Aquarians don't have feelings. I'm just saying they don't display them much. But they're like hard candy. Once you get past that hard shell, they're all gooey inside. Uh, of course, Uranus abhors any type of structure, um, tradition, like confining this tradition, or any type of confinement for that matter. And it will break free at any cost. And with the most important aspect of Pluto having transformed and leaving Capricorn after 15 long years and just a few days it will leave, there have been many disruptions with tradition. Disruptions as in transformations, okay? With tradition and stability. So, for example, government. We saw the comeback king of Donald Trump and the election. Uh, it has transformed contractual partnerships, which is inclusive of business partnerships and family relationships, especially with the mother or matriarchy. So, like I said, the transformation has been talked about, and the struggle has been internal for the most part, but now begins the external. Some of us are hesitant, maybe anxious or uneasy about making changes, and that is why Uranus is here. Uranian energy is coming in to force this physical change, to jumpstart from internal to the external, and to break free of any um, stagnant or confining situations. Now, that is the hardest part because it will affect relationships on all levels. Remember, we have the North Node in Aries, which rules independence, and we have the South Node in Libra, which rules all kinds of relationships. Okay, so First off, Taurus is the bull, and it is determined to getting things done that make us feel good. Taurus is a very compassionate sign. It is a fixed sign ruled by Venus. It likes the finer things in life. Um, so, like silk or creamy, silky ice cream. Taurus wants to feel safe, secure, and full, as in a full belly and a full bank account. Taurus is the money sign. Natally, it is the second house of job, income, and and value system. Uh, and as you know, if you don't know, there is a bronze bull in front of the New York Stock Exchange. Taurus can be generous with its feelings and time, reserving any material things to itself, and will only share those things if it has a substantial return on its investment. Taurus can be quite possessive and stubborn. That would be the negative side, but I'm not going to say too much about the negativity because, like I said, I want to keep this brief. Okay. Now, note a little hint here. In your natal chart, look at where your Venus is and your second house. Taurus rules the second house, like I said. And Venus is what you exude. The what it is who you attract, okay, and how you are seen by the other or other people. So look at the second house and look at where your Venus is. Those two aspects determine your Taurian traits, okay. Now the moon, of course, rules in nurturing Cancer, and Cancer is a family and home oriented sign, but it is quite comfortable in Taurus as well, except for the points of Taurus being an earth sign and being stubborn or too patient. It waits a long time to make a decision. And obviously, it's not a water sign like Cancer. So the emotions are um, as not in depth as much uh, as it would be in Cancer. I mean, I'm not saying that Taurans don't don't have emotional capacity. They very much do so, but not as flowing as a Cancer would be. Basically, Taurus is empathetic, but finds it hard to, let's say, be overly emotional or go with the flow with emotions. Where Cancer would be comfortable and understand someone who would cry or rage. Taurus would probably be surprised at these feelings. Let me briefly explain Scorpio's role here. So the sun is in Scorpio, opposing this full moon. Scorpio is an intensely emotional sign, and you can see when you look at a Scorpio, even their colors are intense, black or deep purple, like dark brown, shiny brown. I mean, there are translucent ones, but Scorpios lay in wait. What I mean is Scorpios are deep hidden emotions that lay in wait to act upon, and when it is acted upon, it's fast. So if you ever see the animal, the scorpion animal, where if you look at it just exudes danger and intensity, but it stands completely still when it's found out. So it's judging, testing, and reconciling what it's going to do. Then once it acts, like I said, it is swift. If Taurus is possessive and wants to hoard things, Scorpio is excessive, to want to discard things what we don't need. So with Taurus, we take in the mouth, and then Scorpio, we let out the other way. um, Now, why is this going to be tough? This full moon and with Uranus. Well, the obvious part is what I noted above: is that relationships, especially nurturing relationships, your roots and traditions, they are fighting to say, well, you can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay, and that is why we are seeing a lot of sun moon oppositions. We had September's full moon in Pisces opposing the Virgo sun. Pisces is empathy, and Virgo is analytical. October's Libra eclipse, so Libra's relationships, and it opposed um, Aries moon, which is independence. And now this Taurus, which is a material sign or stability, is opposing Scorpio. Scorpio is the intense emotional commitments, and so on and so on. Plus, the moon is, like I said, ruled by Cancer, so nurturing mother. And we had Mars in Cancer, so a lot of family dynamics have been going on. And now Mars is in Leo, and Leo is the father. Leo natally rules the fifth house of love, children, pets, our beloved pets, creativity, and gambling. So you see many cardinal signs here. Cardinal signs are the boss. They are the judge, jury, and somewhat the executioner. And we follow their lead. Okay? Oh, and also a hint here, planets show us what is happening, signs show us how it is happening, and houses show us where it is happening. Okay, so before I get to the next sign, which will be Virgo, let me just tell you about some aspects that are happening on the same day. So we know the Taurus full super moon is at 24 degrees, and it is tightly conjunct Uranus at 25 degrees, and the Scorpio sun is opposing it. We also have Venus is in Capricorn, and it is squaring the nodal axes of Aries and Libra. So Aries is independence, and Libra rules all kinds of relationships. The North Node is in Aries, and the South Node is in Libra. Uh, and this can mean like internally, because it's a square, it's internally reconciling between commitments and separation, between relationship and independence. And it is already square Neptune in Pisces, but that is separating. This full moon will trine Pluto, sitting at the critical 29 degrees of Capricorn, and sextile Neptune in Pisces. So we will recognize our newfound power and apply it compassionately. Okay. Um, and then the moon will square Mars in Leo. It is a separating aspect. Um, Again, our emotions, our internal emotions, are just are rubbing up against actions. So we'll go through that. Saturn will station direct in Pisces. It has been retrograde for a few months, 4 or 5 months. So now it will station direct. I just want you to pay attention to the day of before, of, and after, or a couple of days here, because when a planet stations retrograde or direct, it is very powerful, and the veil is lifted. You can get like a picture or a message of what's going on. Mercury in Sagittarius will square Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. That's separating. We have a big one. Mercury in Sagittarius will oppose Jupiter in Gemini, and that is applying. So we'll talk about that opposition in your scope. And Jupiter in Gemini will square Saturn in Pisces. That's also applying. And Mars in Leo, this was the big one that we had, opposes Pluto in Capricorn. And I mentioned this also in your November scopes. I detailed those. It is separating, but it's a powerful one. We're going to feel it for a long time. And then Chiron, the wounded healer, or the maverick, is in Sagittarius. So some kind of hurt, past regret, or what have you. Hi, Sagittarius. Okay, so I wanted to do a short video scope regarding the super full moon in Taurus for you guys, because there's a powerful opposition and a wild conjunction that I just wanted you guys to be aware of in the event it may take you by surprise. And we are not going to uh, start or see big changes, but rather we are smack dab in the midst of it. So there's a lot going on around us and for all of us. And I didn't want you guys to be in the dark about this full moon. First, please do try to listen to the intro, as it does give you more detail and the backstory on Taurus, Scorpio, and the Uranus energy, inclusive of other planetary things going on simultaneously. And there's a lot going on here that I do not go into detail here for each sign. Also, remember, if you want a clearer picture, listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant signs. And you can get those signs, that information, by going to Google and doing free birth charts. Pick out one of the websites and plug in your information, and instantly you'll get that info. Okay, so Sagittarius, we have a super full moon in the sign of Taurus at 24 degrees, and unpredictable and wild Uranus is tightly conjunct this moon at 25 degrees. And the Scorpio sun is opposing it all. So Taurus is your sixth house of health, habits, routine, scheduling, workload. It also rules pets, small pets, and it is the house of gossip and chaos. Scorpio rules your 12th hidden house of secrets, behind the scenes, the past, your faith and psyche, and any confining institutions or situations. So, this may be a surprising or abrupt ending having to do with something regarding your sixth house, but your 12th hidden house of escape either does not want that ending, or something behind the scenes that you have been working on is causing an ending or change in your sixth house of routine. Now, before I start speculating a few scenarios, let us first think back to 2018, when Uranus first entered Taurus and started changing your sixth house of scheduling. So prior to 2018, your health, habits, and routine was pretty much predictable, maybe even boring, especially for an adventurous Sagittarius. But once Uranus entered Taurus around the end of April 2018, it has been disrupted almost every year, where routines and schedules ended only to be substituted with something else, maybe more hectic or more time consuming. And many of you have pets that you have cared for all along with disrupted schedules, or your health might have suffered because there has been such a chaotic shift with this house of chaos. However, I don't see any really big problems here for Sages, unless you have Virgo factors. And saying Virgo factors is because Pluto will be going into Aquarius in a few days, and that will affect the sixth house of routine and health for Virgo. And if if you're a Virgo ascendant or moon, and what's been going on with your sixth house with Uranus, it's just giving you a heads up. In any case, if you have Virgos, and see where that lies. Any Virgo factors, rather. I'm sorry. Um, and then again, you are a mutable sign and can easily adapt to any changing situations. Plus, actually, most of you have had tedious details regarding your schedule. Actually, it has been shaved off in the past few years, and you have streamlined your scheduling quite well. However, there has been, like I mentioned, surprises or abrupt situations, additions on top of your workload, your previous workload maybe, where you had to manage many projects or people, clients, contractors, um, and a small pet, or a family member. You've been caring for a family member maybe, all at one time. And I know many Sagittarians have gone through some kind of loss or big shift regarding your home and family situation, or you've had to um, sort of been living at two different places or having two different homes where you split your time. That has had you scrambling, even sometimes between cities or states. And recently, this back and forth has been necessary because you had to manage some kind of fallout, or, like I said, um, some disruption with your home and family. In any case, this may be another surprising ending to a work or health routine, or a culmination of your past efforts in this area. Uranus here is the trigger point that is definitely rooting for this ending, uh, because it wants to free you of something. Now, it is opposed by your 12th hidden house, where Scorpio is. Now, that it could be that you are enjoying your alone time really a lot, and a new schedule or routine is forcing you to come out of hiding, sort of, or take away from something you are working on behind the scenes. So that's where I can see where the opposition is. You're Anyway, Scorpio is your 12th house, and it every year around this time you do kind of go into seclusion, and it does feel good for you to wind down. But like I said, there's been changes, and mostly internally, okay, of endings or losses or what have you. So this year, I'm sorry, that's my pug snoring. I think it's endearing. In any case, yeah. So this ending or loss may have pushed you deeper into hiding or to be alone. Okay. Um, where was I? Yeah. So, but Uranus wants you to come out of hiding. Um, or it wants to take you away from something you are working on behind the scenes, or have you find a better schedule or routine because it's encroaching on your health. Okay. Um, and Uranus values freedom over any confinement, even at the risk of causing disruption, like chaotic disruption. And you maybe later on, appreciate the fact that it did take you out of this confining space you are currently in. Because Sagittarians really are extroverts more than they are introverts. You guys are fire signs, adventurous, and you're everybody's best friend. And you have sort of hidden away here, um, um, almost like licking your wounds. I'm not laughing at you, I'm sorry. But it's just not a Sagittarian. And confining yourself like this, where you're going deeper and deeper, will not serve your mental health in the long run. Uh, Uranus wants you to start galloping like before, so you get out of a rut. Okay. Um, because remember, the sixth house, when I say health and habits, health includes your mental health and your physical health. If one is off, the other will not work. If your mental state is not on par, you will start seeing a physical decline. Or if you when people hide away sometimes, and when there's some kind of upsetting relationship or loss or something like that, naturally most people start eating more or just being couch potatoes. And then your physical health will suffer where your mental health will give out. So the sixth house, the trick to the sixth house is always splitting up your day into 8 hours of sleep, a good 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours for fun and relaxation. Um, that is really crucial for you to keep to that schedule. Okay. Another clue that may help you identify what this ending may be related to is think back earlier this year to May 8th, new moon in Taurus. So, whatever opportunity you had then, or planted the seeds of then and worked on, or whatever um, uh, abrupt uh, schedule or chaotic event that happened that had you uh, working on, now is the ending of that May 8th new moon. We see the culmination of it now. Now, there are a couple of squares and oppositions happening on the same day, other than this Scorpio opposition to Taurus, that are contributing factors. And I mentioned some, but there's also, it's inclusive of partnership or a partner, of maybe a friend. Money or values is also connected here, your value system, what you will and will not sell out for. Communicating and your home and family situation. Uh, Again, you're a very, very sociable creature, and keeping to yourself and not communicating with others will bring you down or put you in a rut. Okay. Um, I don't really see a big conflict with this ending, as much as it may be a blessing in disguise, pushing you more out and about. And this will lift your spirits much, much more. Um, and maybe you would like to listen to your October and November scopes once again, because the activities and plans that have been occurring the past few weeks is the natural next step to this ending or culmination of your routine. I just see that you need more to be more active. This helps you more than it hurts you, like I said, physically and mentally. But here's the disclaimer on full moons, let alone a super full moon. Full moons conceal more than they reveal. I know a lot of astrologers say, oh, the full moon will illuminate something. Yes, for the most part, it does, but there is something hidden in this full moon that you are not aware of. Okay, or it could be of this hidden factor, but you try to ignore it, or you don't reveal it to another. Um, and it is a super full moon. So what I'm trying to say is, on any full moon, try to avoid hardline decisions. And the energy of the full moon is not just today. You've probably been feeling this um, already a few days or a week before it. And the energy and the vibration will reverberate for the full amount of it for another 2, 3 days. And then it will reverberate more into the future, another week, 2 weeks, and so forth. And also, we have Mars racing through Leo and will be retrograding all the way back into Cancer before going forward over these two signs. And we have Mercury retrograde coming up in your sign. It is already shadow retrograde in your sign. So communications with with you and partners, friends, family, and so forth. I always say, like I said, try to avoid hardline decisions, um, especially with this super full moon, as it is conjuncting the planet of lightning and the unexpected shock of Uranus. Give yourself the space um, and give others the same room. Again, if you can try to avoid any life altering decisions. Um, Okay, Sagittarius, like I said, this scope was uh, brief because I just wanted to do it on the full moon and just give you a heads up uh, in case, you might be off guard. It's mostly because Uranus just scares me. It's like, if you, like I said, listen to the intro, but it is like the mad scientist or the unorganized genius. It has very, very good factors of intelligence and creativity, but the shadow side of it is very cold and unbending, and it has its ultimate purpose is to break free of any confining rules or traditionals or or confining situations. That's its ultimate thing. So, the analogy of throwing the baby out with a baby bathwater is where's Uranus scares me, and I just don't want you to do that. So give yourself room and time. I hope I have informed you, if not entertained you in some way. If you have been, excuse me, informed or entertained, do consider subscribing, because half of you who listen are not subscribed, or at least smash that like button. It really does help me out a lot. Okay, Sagittarius, I wish you the best of luck, and I will be talking to you guys soon, in December, if not earlier, because I have promised to do other dedicated videos. Sorry. So if my schedule allows me, I will do that. If not, I will talk to you in December. Take good care of yourself, Sag. Hi, Capricorn. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to do a short video scope regarding the super full moon in Taurus for you guys, because there is a powerful opposition and there is a wild and crazy Uranus that's conjuncting this moon, um, that I just wanted you guys to be aware of, in the event it may take you by surprise. We don't want that, especially not a Capricorn. You guys don't like surprises. First, please do try to listen to the intro, as it does give you a backstory with details regarding the Taurian energy, Scorpio's energy, and Uranus, and inclusive of other planetary aspects that are going on simultaneously, because there is a lot going on that I do not go into detail here for each sign, because I want to keep this short. Also, remember, if you want a clearer picture, listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant signs. And you can always get that by going to Google and Googling free birth charts. Okay, so we have a super full moon in the sign of Taurus at 24 degrees. And we have the planet of shock and surprise and lightning, Uranus, is tightly conjuncting this moon at 25 degrees. And the Scorpio sun is opposing it all. Okay? Now, Taurus is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. Gambling can mean casino gambling, but it can also mean like gambling on life. Um, and Scorpio rules your 11th house of friends, a special friend, groups, associations, and your hopes and wishes of the future. Um, so, this may be a surprising or abrupt ending with something regarding a love, a romance, a child, a pet, and gambling. Um, but your friendship house is opposing this ending. Okay, something having to do with your hopes, wishes, or dreams uh, is opposing it, or a friend is opposing this ending, or an association is opposing this ending. Mm. Or there is some hidden factor about this friend, but because it is Scorpio, Scorpio is inherently secretive. Plus, it's the moon, and the moon rules our emotions. Our emotions are hidden. The moon is at night, so it might be a complete ending, or it might be a culmination of your past efforts in this fifth house of love and romance and children. Now, before I start speculating a few scenarios, think back to 2018 when Uranus first entered Taurus and started changing your fifth house of love, sometimes chaotically, sometimes abruptly. So prior to 2018, love or romance or children or pets were pretty much boring for you, if none at all. Okay, and but once Uranus entered Taurus around the end of April 2018, what you thought love or romance or children or pets uh, would be or should be has been disrupted. Uranus kept shifting you or cranking you in a different direction, or has brought you Taurian like people, but with Uranian energy. Okay, unpredictable. Um, what's that song by Justin Bieber? Where he says, "What do you mean when you say go, but you say come?" Whatever. It's like you've been just confused here. Just constant chaotic shifts with this house. Um, Now, you are not a mutable sign. You're a fixed sign, and you're a cardinal sign. So this ending, if it is a complete ending, it will sting. And the only reason I'm I'm not saying that it, you, well, no. If it is an ending, you have known about it. Yes, you have known about it, um, or you have felt it coming. If it is a complete ending, um, but again, always remember, endings are not forever. Okay, they are regenerated or renewed. Um, but if it is not an ending, if it is a culmination of efforts, maybe it is going to the next step, the next level. You're taking it to the next level. So you have that going for you. Okay. Um, Now, the other thing that I wanted to say is this hidden factor that's going on. Um, Whatever this hidden factor is, it is self imposed, sort of. Or there's a third factor involved here, um, something of not rocking the boat. But that will disappear soon because Pluto is in your sign. So Pluto is right smack on your chest. It's really weighing you down. Um, but it will be moving out of your sign in just a few days. And with this change of signs, it will feel like an instant relief, like you can breathe again. I have some Capricorns who have like asthma, and I've promised them that once Pluto leaves your sign, you will see a change of this asthma thing. You will get almost instant relief. like I said. Okay. But whatever is ending here, Capricorn, Uranus is the trigger. It is triggering this ending. Um, because Uranus values freedom over any confinement, even at the risk of disruptions. Um, because it is opening you up to a much freeing situation regarding children or pets. Now, if your child is leaving, it can be this. It can be really uh, sad or lonely or something like that. But Uranus and its God and his wisdom is doing this because it wants to free you up for something else that will take over. And creativity is coming in. And you are going to be quite busy about a new job, a new offer, a pay raise, a new position. So that's going to be really exciting for you. Okay. And like I said, things don't really ever end, they just transform to something else. Another clue that may help you identify what this ending may be related to um, is earlier this year on May 8th, we had a new moon in Taurus. So, whatever opportunity or new romance or a child project or a new creative project that started then, or you planted the seeds of then and worked on, we see the culmination of it now, okay? Of your hard work, of your efforts. Now, there are a couple of squares and oppositions, others oppositions. I'm not talking about the Scorpio opposition that are happening on the same day that are contributing factors, and those are inclusive of. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at two different screens. So Jupiter in Gemini. So you have your sixth house of schedules, routines, health, and habits, and Jupiter expands things here, but Jupiter has gone retrograde. So it's giving you a reprieve. But before it went retrograde, your schedule has been just doubling and expanding. Uh, and now, like I said, it's gone retrograde, and you're reviewing your schedule and sort of fine tuning it so that when Jupiter does move forward, you move forward with what works best for you. But again, when it moves forward, you're going to be that much more busier with a routine or a schedule or a health habit and so on. And then the other oppositions we have, major oppositions, is Mercury is opposing Jupiter in Gemini. So Mercury is in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is your 12th house of behind the scenes and secrets and your psyche. Excuse me. Um, so this tells me whatever this secretive thing is it's nagging you, okay? And it's throwing your schedule off. So try to do meditation or physical activity just to get this tensed up like tension out of your system because your sixth house is involved. And the only reason I say this is because sixth house rules health and 12th house is your psyche. So you need both your mental health and your physical health to be on par for you in order for you to work well. Especially since this new job opportunity is going on. And we have Mars in racing in Leo, um, and it will go retrograde. So that is your eighth house of joint finances, taxes, intimacy. So right now there's a lot of heat here, okay? Um, but but it'll go retrograde. So whatever you're building here, or whatever you're just ramming through or going through, there is a chance of reversals or cancellations. And again, I'm not going to go too much into detail on this because that was in your November horoscope. So do look up your November horoscope if you haven't listened to it or if you need a refresher. It'll give you. But I just wanted to let you know of the oppositions and the squares and what have you. Now, also pay attention to these couple of days, few days, because Saturn is in Pisces and it will station direct. And whenever a planet stations retrograde or direct, especially these outer planets, these heavy hitting planets, it is humongous energy. and it lifts the veil where you can get a picture or a clue, or you get a message. And it's in Pisces, so that is your third house of communication, commuting, siblings or cousins, communication devices, and social media. So that you've been, it's you have been able to get a reprieve of that because Saturn has been retrograde, and maybe because Saturn has been retrograde, you have been maybe siblings or cousins have taken a little bit more advantage of you than it should, or communication has been jumbled where it has crossed a boundary with you, but you just have let it go. So Saturn is waking up here again, and it is going to put up those boundaries for you again and pull you back to shore, so that you can get a control of the way you communicate, or how you control how others communicate with you. Okay, like I said, I've mentioned this in detail more in your November scope. Um, what else did I want to say? The other thing that I wanted to note is full moons, let alone super full moons, conceal more than they reveal. A lot of astrologers say, "Oh, it will illuminate this or that." Yes, it does, but there is a hidden factor with full moons. There is something concealed from you, and that's just the nature of a full moon. Moons rule our emotions. Our emotions are hidden. The moon is at night, so there is some kind of hidden factor here. Um, and I mentioned Mars and Leo. Um, just just the last thing is, because it's a full moon, because there's something hidden from you, because we are in a Scorpio season. Scorpio is inherently secretive, and because your Sagittarius is all over the place with Mercury. Mercury's shadow retrograde. It's going to go retrograde, and that is your 12th house of behind the scenes and secrets. So there's a lot of hidden things popping up at me in your chart. And on full moons, let alone super full moons, try to avoid hardline decisions. Okay, because like I said, they rule emotions, so there's emotions involved, and you're a logical person. So with emotions, um, decisions are wrought. They are less than perfect, and especially with you, because there was a decision you rushed into, or you made out of necessity. So again, with this full moon, try to avoid any decisions if it is dependent on you to make this decision on an ending. Um, give yourself time and space, as well as give others the same time and space. I'm sorry, that's my pug snoring. um, the energy is not just today of the full moon. You've been probably feeling this before, and you will feel it for another 3-4 days, the full effect of it. And you will feel it, you'll feel the vibration even after that for another week or so. So just give yourself a few days, a week, before you make any hardline decisions. All right, Capricorn. Um, I hope I have enlightened you on something. If not, had you go on a fun journey with me for a few minutes. And if so, half of you who listen are not subscribed. It's free to subscribe. If you can do that, that would help me out, or at least hitting this, smashing the like button. That gets my video out more to more people. Sorry about that. Okay, so I will either talk to you in December, or if I do a dedicated video in the future, before December, I'll upload that. And if you're subscribed, you will be notified. All right, Capricorn, take care of yourself, please. Hi, Aquarius. Hope you're doing well. So I wanted to do a short video scope regarding the super full moon in Taurus for you guys, because there is a opposition from Scorpio, and a wild conjunction um, that I just wanted you guys to be aware of in the event it may take you by surprise. Um, so, because there's a lot of other planetary aspects happening, and we are smack dab in the midst of change. We've been changing internally. and what you have been feeling and what you've been seeing is the external change. Okay, so first, please do try to listen to the intro, as it does give you a backstory and more detail on the energies of Taurus, Scorpio, and Uranus, inclusive of other planetary things that are going on simultaneously at the same time. Because I do not go in detail here for each sign on those aspects. Like I said, I wanted to keep this short and brief, just on the full moon. Also, remember, if you want a clearer picture, listen to your sun, moon, and ascendant sign. And if you don't know those, you can just go Google free birth charts and get that information that way. Okay, so we have a super full moon in the sign of Taurus at 24 degrees. So look for that in your chart. And unpredictable and crazy Uranus, who is your ruler actually, is tightly conjunct this moon at 25 degrees. And Scorpio sun is opposing it all. So for you, it's you're used to Uranian energy. It is your ruler. You're used to how it works abruptly. So Taurus is your fourth house of home, family, parents, your country, and so forth. Um, and Scorpio rules your 10th house of career, status, and authority figures. Okay. And there is an ending of some sort in your fourth house of home and family, or a culmination of your past efforts. And and your house of career, status, and authority figures is opposed to this ending in your home and family or parents. It stands in opposition of it. Oppositions are powerful aspects, as opposed to squares, which are just as powerful, but squares are more internal, whereas oppositions are external. It's with another, and it's an either or situation. So the only thing that really smooths over an opposition is a compromise or an agreement. Okay. And this is not something new or sudden, this ending. Um, you have already known about it, or you've planned for it, or what have you. But Uranus in this mix may make it, and maybe not for you, but it may make it shocking or surprising. And at times, Uranus can be volatile. And we have not only a full moon, but a super full moon. So emotions are quite high. And Uranus in the mix, it's a combustible uh, dynamic. So just on full moons, I know a lot of astrologers say they illuminate things. It'll be revealed. Where it will, the situation will come up, but full moons, there is something concealed. There is something hidden from you. The moon rules our emotions. Our emotions are hidden. The moon is at night. And inherently, the energy of a full moon is to conceal something, and let alone a super full moon. So there is something hidden from you here. And what I always, and plus, Scorpio opposing this, Scorpio is inherently a secretive sign. Um, and we have Pluto and Capricorn, all in your hidden house of psyche and secrets in the past, just a few more days longer. So I always advise to avoid uh, life altering or hardline decisions on full moons, especially. So if there is if the ending is coming from you, give yourself time and space, and give others the same time, because you also have your fifth house of love and romance and children all in the mix as well. So also give children, time and space for this high frequency of the energy to pass a little bit, maybe a few days or a week before you make any decisions. That's just my disclaimer to you guys. So and and something that'll give you a clue of what it might be about. But like I said, you probably already know it. It started earlier this year in May 8th. We had a new moon in Taurus. So this is the bookend of it. Okay. whatever you started then, or whatever new opportunity in your home and family, um, or whatever you planted the seed of then, this is the culmination of that hard work, or the ending, wrap up time of what I mean, it can be as mundane as uh, renovation, or getting a new house, or moving, um, uh, or furniture, or something. It doesn't have to be, scary, or what have you. It can be just something. You're renovating something and you're finishing it up now. And you want to finish it up before the winter sets in or whatever. And also the overarching theme, to help you out understand to help you understand this more, is the overarching theme is, think back to 2018 when Uranus first entered Taurus in April. So ever since 2018, you've had what you thought home and family is or should be has kept changing for you. It has abruptly shifted. Every time you thought you were going in a certain direction with home and family, it just shifted you abruptly. That's how Uranus works. It doesn't really wait. Um, that's how it gets change administered. But again, like I said, you're used to that energy. So ever since 2018, you might have moved several different places, or you might have lost family members, and my condolences to that. Um, I hope you're in a better space now. But yeah, it's this shifting of homes or what have you. And if you are an Aquarian that is taking a relationship to the next level, it might be, a surprise, um, uh, where you find the perfect place and you guys go all in on it. Um, so that's the overarching theme, is what started back in April 2018, and almost every year there has been this surprising shift in your home and family. We do have a couple more surprises here, but I promise it'll be the last one or two before Uranus finally leaves Taurus next year in spring and then goes on to Gemini. Okay. What else did I want to cover? So yeah, just remember that Uranus does value freedom over any confinement, even at the risk of disruptions. And Uranus is really the planet that causes the change that you appreciate later on, um, where you look back and you say, "Oh yeah, it was that week or that month or that thing that happened. That thank God it happened that way, because it set you off on a better path." Okay. And let's see what I want to cover. I think I covered everything here. The other planetary aspects that are happening, again, I detailed them in the intro, and they're all in detail in your November horoscope. So if you haven't heard that, maybe you want to hear that or refresh your memory. You can go to the playlist and hear your November horoscope. And the last thing I wanted to let you know is just be aware these few days of Saturn is stationing direct. It has been retrograde for the past 4 or 5 months. Saturn is in Pisces, and it is in your second house of job, values, your value system, who you will and will not sell out for, and income. So money, money, money. So you've had sort of a reprieve here for the past 2 months. If you've been looking for a job, when Saturn stationing direct, you will easily find something. But or if you've been looking for a new position or a raise or a lateral move, you've been working on it the past 4 or 5 months, it's going to start triggering it now. In any case, pay attention to these 2 3 days, because when a planet stations, I always mention this in my other videos, it is awesome energy being held at one spot. Granted, it's because of our observation, but the fact still remains. It is a humming vibration that is awesome. It's a huge planet, it's an outer planet, and it carries a lot of weight. So at that time, when it does do that, a veil is lifted. We get a picture, or we're a clue, or a message is sent to us. So pay attention. Anything that comes your way regarding job, income, or your value system, because that's set to change. And then this secretive house, Pluto's leaving that, but that's all in your November scope, so you can listen to that. Again, I just wanted to keep this brief and short and keep it on this Taurus full moon. So I hope I informed you, if not entertained you for a few minutes in some way. And if it has been entertaining or informative, do consider subscribing, because half of you who listen are not subscribed, and it's free. You can subscribe, or at least hit the smash the like button. It really does help me out. All right, Aquarius, you take care of yourselves. I will talk to you in December, if not earlier, because I have promised some other dedicated videos that I will do for you guys. So also, if you subscribe, you will be notified of those. If not, I will talk to you in December. Take care of yourselves.